West, dinners and shows go together like meat and potatoes. Breeze on up to Chicago, and you'll find a rainbow of rarefied flavors and high-flying fun at Carnivale.
It's very colorful, very festive. It's a party.
You know, as soon as you walk in, you know that you're gonna have fun. You know that food is gonna be amazing.
To come to this place and see the dinner and the show that we put on, it's really a magical thing. It's theater on steroids. You're eating and you never know what's gonna happen here.
From acrobats above to sweet cotton candy, a meal at Carnivale feels like a day at the fair.
Heart stopped.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's this pop-up performances where it's this 5 minutes of entertainment and then another hour passes and you have someone else come out and do something else.
But the food, like the action, is elevated. Try on their version of this Cuban classic, Ropa Vieja.
The meaning of ropa vieja is pulled clothes or shredded beef. It's very complex, but it's at the same time very homey and easy to eat.
Ropa Vieja is mostly made with brisket, but nothing about Carnivale is conventional.
We use veal cheeks. It's delicious. They have richer and deeper flavor. You gotta be very generous with salt and pepper. It's gonna cook for quite a while. It's a party of pepper, baby.
The cheeks get a quick sear, then take a rest. Meanwhile, Chef Rodolfo throws a mixer for carrots, celery, and onions. Of course, red wine livens up any gathering.
That's what it means to get drunk with flavor. Now we're gonna add these veal cheeks back in. A little bit of veal stock.
In the oven, that meat practically melts.
Oh, that smells great. See, that's what you want. It's falling apart. You guys looking at me like you want this, right?
While the cheeks chill, Rodolfo reduces the stock.
This is where all the flavor is. This is what's gonna give our final dish all that richness.
You can eat Ropa Vieja over rice, but it's more fun stuffed into taco shells made from malanga.
This is predominantly grown in the Caribbean. It's in the family of taro. It has a little sweetness to it, and it's very starchy.
That tropical root is sliced, folded.
The crunch that this gives to our dish, it stays throughout all the way till you get it to the table.
Then crispified into cups in the deep fryer. The meat gets shreddy for its close-up.
So you just break it up. It's super soft right now.
Then meets its co-stars. Sauteed veggies, the reduced stock, and roasted plantains.
This adds sweetness to our beef stew. Put a little bit of that braised beef right into every single shell.
A little aioli, then pickled onions, cilantro, and queso fresco complete our first act.
Ropa Vieja worth a round of applause. Time to party.
The spiciness of the braised veal cheek, and it's so tender, melt in your mouth. The marinated onions that give it the tart. A nice fresh from the cilantro. The aioli is delicious, and a little tang from the cheese is really, really good.
The ropa vieja, by itself, is an unbelievable. It's a show on its own. It's full of flavor, and it just falls apart in your mouth. It's amazing.
The braised beef is just so tender, and there's a little bit of sweetness with, I think, plantains on the inside.
Every time it's so good. It's crunchy, it's a little sweet, perfect salty. It's awesome.
We always have to fight over that last one. Rock, paper, scissors for it.
Do that. 1, 2, 3. Yes.
You're gonna want an encore performance of their fruity fabulousness known as Carnivale cake.
Our signature Carnival dish. It's like a global rainbow of chocolate and ice cream blended together.
The sweetness starts with a flavor straight from the land of Carnivale, cocoa.
This is more like a fudge brownie. Nice and rich and full of chocolate flavor.
A fudgy layer is spread with the first flavor in a creamy, colorful trio.
We just spun our mango ice cream, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put that right in.
Layer number 2, perhaps some pistachio.
As you're eating this, you get a little bit of crunch. We layer the fun here at Carnivale.
Another chocolate cake, and Chef brings the berry with red currant.
So this would be our final layer of cake.
After a deep freeze, our colossal cake is so big, Chef needs a saw to slice through it.
Say hello to my little friend. This is how we chill out at Carnivale. Show's over. Who wants dessert?
It's like Neapolitan done the Latin way.
This is fantastic.
Have that sweet mango with this pistachio, the dark chocolate.
It's so like light.
I was on a diet, but bye-bye. The show is great, but this is how you want to end the night.
But beware, at Carnivale, every action has an equal and opposite distraction.
See, the airlift is coming back up.
Oh,